a woman who had been bleeding for 12 years, and she said, if I can just reach out and touch his clothing, I'll be healed. Boom, the energy went through her, and Jesus said, daughter, your faith has made you whole. So I didn't do it. Your faith has made you whole, has brought the healing. Go in peace. The third, we're moving up to the 20th century. We're zooming ahead to a real powerful woman of truth. And her name is Auntie Mame. Auntie Mame was written by a man named Edward Tanner, who went by the pseudonym Patrick Dennis. Mr. Tanner was actually basing the aunt in the book on his own aunt, who actually was a person. She lived in Greenwich Village, and she was pretty much like this person he created. Her name was Marion Tanner. His Mame was an independent, free-spirited woman who always managed to bounce back from whatever challenge she found herself in. What delighted me in rereading the book again recently was how spiritually wise Auntie Mame really is, at least in the character that the writer created. And the reason I call this message the gospel according to Auntie Mame is that the word gospel means good news. What is the good news that we have here this morning? The good news, or the powerful lesson that Auntie Mame was endeavoring to get her young nephew Patrick to understand, was that life is a joyful adventure. That if one kept one's eyes and ears open to the good, that the world would then show it. It would be revealed if you went forward to meet life. There's a thank you can give life if you live life all the way. You've got to go forward and meet life and expect the good to come forth, if it's going to come forth. This is the teaching that all the greatest minds and the most powerful teachers of spirituality all over the planet for centuries have endeavored to impart to us. And we're still having a difficult time understanding what that really means. I know a woman who went on a spiritual pilgrimage to India to find the meaning of life. You know, that cliche. She said, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go find a great master in India to impart to me what I need to know. So she booked a meeting with a Himalayan monk, a great master. And he wasn't in a cave, he was in an ashram. It was very comfortable, she said. It wasn't like I had to go climb something. But she had her appointment and she sat down across from him and she said, what I really want to know is what the secret of life is. And he looked at her deep, he said, he just looked at me deep in my eyes, so much love. And he started laughing. And he said, the secret to life is this: be happy. She went, that's what I paid thousands of dollars for? I came to India to hear Bobby McFerrin's song? Be happy. She was really angry. She said, that was all he told me. He had a few words, but I didn't even hear him after that. I went back to my room and I got really angry and I started meditating and I got it. I got it. Spirit revealed. I heard the words from outside and I was really angry, but I went within and I heard the truth from God. She said this was then and now the greatest teaching she has ever received in her life. She said, this is the truth of why each and every one of us is on the planet. And you heard it here without having to go to India. I saved you thousands of dollars. You're welcome. Thank you. All of the Gospels, from Auntie Mame to our own lessons in truth, to all the scriptures that reveal the truth, teach us the same thing, that joy is the most important part, but we don't see that. We're often not taught that in churches, but it's in there. There are over 200 references to joy in the Bible. There's under 100 to suffering. There's something going on there. Scripture wants us to know more about joy than about suffering. Jesus, our way shower, as we call him in Unity, was such a joy-filled, love-filled individual that those stuffy leaders, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, bored him silly. He just couldn't deal with being around them. They bored him terribly. Have you ever seen a bouncing 5-year-old around adults discussing politics? They're like blah, blah, blah. It just sounds like Greek to them. It's just like, this is nothing coming out of their mouth. Jesus, no doubt, felt the same way with those pompous clerics. Here's a little bit of what our elder brother said about joy. He said, the kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field when a man finds it and covers it up. Then in his joy, he goes and he sells everything that he has and he buys the field. He said, this is how important joy is. Whatever you can give to it, because that is your ultimate good. He also said, I love this, rejoice and leap for joy, for great is your reward in heaven. Did you ever hear that before? Did you ever hear anybody say leap for joy? I never heard that in the church, Baptist church growing up, ever. Leap for joy. So what I want you to do is, we're going to do a little bit of unity joy yoga. Okay? So I want everybody to stand. If you're able to, stand. If not, sit where you are and do your yoga joy sitting right there. So I just want you to just move your body a little bit. Just kind of rock back and forth on your feet. Just get the chi lightly, lovingly going. Roll your shoulders a little bit. Lift them up and rock. Do maybe a gentle head roll. Don't hurt yourself. Open and close your fingers. Rod, would you give us a little music, a little joy music to help us out here? Just keep. Find a partner. Turn to somebody. If you have to move a little bit, find somebody. Go to somebody. Move your butt. Don't hurt yourself. Just move your shoulders. Pump it up a little bit. Rod, turn it up a little bit. Rejoice, leap for joy. Be careful leaping. Change partners. Find somebody. Make a noise. Make a joyful noise. Find a new partner. Find somebody else. If you're sitting, at least move your shoulders, move your hands. Hey, Jam. All right, have a seat. Thank you. Yay. Beat for joy. All right. That feel good? Oh my God. I'm going to assume you're just saying, yes, that feels good, but I can't breathe. Breathe. It doesn't feel good to move the body. That's why he said leap for joy. Do a physical thing. Get the joy going. That's what we're here to do. To have fun with it. Another one of his wonderful sayings was, up until now you have not asked for your desire. Up until now, nothing. He said, ask and you will receive, that your joy may be full. So why do we ask? So we can have joy. We don't get because we don't ask. Very simple. Or the way we ask is, God, I wish I could have that. That's not really effective, is it? Wishing is not affirming. It's a low-grade kind of whine. The universe does not respond to a whine. It doesn't. It responds to you putting the energy out there and saying, this is the truth of my being. I am whole and well. I am whole and well. Together.
I am whole and well.
I am a success.
I am a success.
I am abundantly blessed.
I am abundantly blessed.
I am loved and loving.
I am loved and loving.
I believe you now. That's the energy we need to approach our affirmations with. If our prayers aren't working, it's because it's lacking joy and energy. That's all. The universe is saying, I hear the words, but I don't believe you. I am whole and well. I am a success. Okay. Keep working on that line reading and maybe we'll believe you eventually. The purpose of the teaching of the Gospels, the good news, is for the transformation from seeing ourselves as victims of the planet to successful creations of spirit. There are no victims. No matter what has happened to you, you are not a victim. We may have been hurt, things may have gone on that we had to bring a healing into our lives with or from. But God, there are no victims in God's mind. If that has been your thought process, I invite you to let it go within and ask God to reveal the truth of who and what we are. The character of Mame was a joyful woman who had great wealth, a fun life. She had everything she could ever desire. And then when the Depression hit, she showed great resolve, even after all of her money was gone. It was gone. She said, it's not going to stop my joy. It isn't going to stop me from being me. And so she continued, and she was fired from so many different jobs in her career, but she didn't care. On to the next. She created a joyful time no matter what was happening outside of herself. Now, the story of Auntie Mame is very simple. Anybody never see the movie or read the book or any of the incarnations? Anybody? Okay, great. I'll share a little bit with you. So, Mame was a wealthy Manhattan socialite. And she's surprised one day when she's giving a party. At her door comes a little 8-year-old nephew, Patrick. His father, her brother, had passed away, and she became his guardian. So she's bound and determined to open her nephew's eyes to the wonders of the planet and the joys that can be had. She teaches him, open a new window, open a new door, travel a new highway that's never been tried before you find you're a dull fellow, punching the same clock, walking the same tightrope as everyone on the block. So become yourself, become an individual, become uniquely you. She taught him over and over again. But her brother, knowing his sister, left Patrick's education and trust fund to his banker, Mr. Babcock, who sends Patrick to boarding school and allows him to come home once in a while to see Mame and then right back to the boarding school. When Patrick turns into a little Babcock as he grows up, Mame finds a really interesting way to awaken Patrick to his true, wonderful self. To find that out, you'll have to read the book or see the movie. I'll leave that to you. Now, in Unity, we know we interpret the Bible metaphysically, metaphorically. We take a look at the deeper stories, the characters in it, and what they mean. We can do that not only with Scripture, but we do it with other stories as well. Mame is a really wonderful story ripe for metaphysical interpretation. So Mame is the divine feminine power of joy in you. If you want to read about the beginning of Mame, who she was, the divine feminine, read Psalm 8. She's called Sophia in that. And in it, God says, I take great joy in Sophia. Daily she was my delight. This is the divine feminine energy within each and every one of us. It's Mame looking to awaken in our lives every day. Patrick is your unfolding Christ self. Whenever we read child in a Bible, that's you awakening to your truth. Now, Babcock is the planet telling you to stop being joyful. Stop that. Life is serious and you need to make money and you need to do that so you don't die. That's essentially what Babcock is telling us. So Babcock's trying to make us afraid. Everybody outside is trying to make us afraid of life. We need to not be afraid of life. We need to awaken that joy because that joy is going to bring us to where we need to go. Many years ago, Lucille Ball was giving an acting workshop in LA, and an actor wanted to know, and says, well, what do you do when you're tired? What do you do when you don't have the energy? Maybe you've had a bad night and the next day on I Love Lucy, you have to be up and full of excitement. What do you do? She responded that there were many mornings like that when the last thing in the world she wanted to do was be Lucy. She said that when she walked onto the set, though, with the other actors, something would happen for all of them. She called that something the enchanted sense of play. I love that term. The enchanted sense of play. She said she would begin to feel it, the energy would start rising, and then she said, I start running around the studio. I'd run about 2 or 3 times, and by the time I was finished, Lucy Ricardo was there, and she was ready to go. So it's in there. Even if we don't feel it, that enchanted sense of play within you can be awakened any time. Maybe you don't want to run, but you can do it sitting right there. Allow the joy of God to rise up. The best actors I've ever worked with in the theater have this sense of play, this joyfulness. Sometimes you wonder, there's such wonderful actors. What makes them different than mediocre actors? The best actors are still children. As our brother said, unless you become a child again, you shall not inherit the kingdom. The allness of spirit. You've got to let go and let that joy take hold. So we pay $200 to watch somebody say, I'll play Arthur and you play Guinevere. We'll do this for 2 hours and make money. And we'll charge people $200 to watch us do this, to watch us play. As Shakespeare wrote, all the world's a stage, and all its men and women merely players. You have taken on the role of this character that you are for this lifetime. The true you, the true self that you are, knows this and came here to do this so you could learn about you and your power, your joy, your good. I believe the power of joy helps us to keep our perspective on this stage we call life. On the night before Jesus was crucified, he told his disciples, all these things I have spoken to you, that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be full. So right before he dies, what's his concern? He's concerned that his friends remain joyful, no matter what's going on. He knew this was the most important element in getting our way through life. The thing called joy is not frivolous. It's not an expendable thing at all. It's one of the most potent forms of God expression that we have. Meister Eckhart, the 12th century mystic, declared joy is the most infallible sign of the presence of God. Not peace, not health, not money. Joy is the most infallible sign that God is at work in your life right now. If we don't have joy, we don't have God, he's saying. Joy was important enough for Jesus to talk about the night before he was executed. It's that important. Or as Auntie Mame put it, life is a banquet and most poor SOBs are starving to death. We're starving for joy. For this wonderful banquet, the Spirit has laid out and said, help yourself. He said, I didn't get the invitation. I didn't get invited, so I'm going to stay home. Everybody else is out playing. I'm going to stay home. I'll show God. The invitation was when you got here. When you got to the planet, that was your invitation, so go. The banquet is waiting for you. The coffee is waiting. The food is waiting for you. You have to get up and get it yourself. That's the deal. Nobody's going to bring it to us. We have to make the determination, I'm going to go and get all the joy I can. Auntie Mame is such a classic figure in American culture because she represents what we wish we were if we were only brave enough to step out and do it. That's why she is a book and a movie and a musical and a play about the movie and a movie about the play, and there are many books written about this because she's iconic. There's something in us that resonates with Mame because we want to be that. Like Jocelyn was saying earlier, it's today. We can only live today. We can't live tomorrow yet. We can't live yesterday again. Now is the moment. The power of now, as Eckhart Tolle taught us. The number 5 of our basic unity teachings, I changed a little bit. It's the same belief, but I just added a little bit to it. As originally written, it's not enough to know you got to do it. Well, that's Nike. Yeah, who doesn't believe that? That's just common sense. But in unity, we believe that life is a celebration. We've been invited to the party, and now I need to show up for it. Earth is the party planet. Are you coming to the party? You've got the invitation. It's up to you to join. So that's number 5 of our basic belief. We are here to be joyful and to celebrate. Psychiatrists say the number 1 symptom of mental illness is a lack of laughter in a person's life. Anybody know anybody who doesn't laugh at all? There's something going on. There's a healing need that needs to happen. To not laugh is to not be whole. In the National Catholic Reporter, a writer said, the main reason for all our troubles is that people have lost their sense of humor. The dark night of the soul is fine, but only a masochist wallows in it. I love this part. Every church should have a humor committee. Anybody want to be part of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. It'd be the most fun committee. Irma Baumek tells a story about a small boy in church who was turning around to everybody and he was waving and smiling and just going, "Hey, how you doing?" Irma writes, finally his mother jerked him around and in a stage whisper that could be heard in a little theater off Broadway said, "Stop that grinning, you're in church." With that, she gave him a belt, and as the tears rolled down his cheeks, added, "That's better," and went back to prayer. What are our churches teaching us? This, stop being joyful, is not holy. You got to be pious. You got to look like you're in pain, and then God will love you. Thank God we go to Unity. Though some of you still look like you're in the Baptist church, I got to say right now. When you smile, you activate joy. That's the truth. When you smile, you're activated. So, you may look a little silly walking down the street with a grin, but who cares? You're lifting yourself up to a spiritual awareness. Thank God for Unity. I'm so grateful. Unity saved my life back in 1984 and continues to do so today. If your career, your family, your health, your financial flow, or your relationships are not what you want them to be, then find the missing joy. If something's not working, say, in this area my joy is missing and I need to add it back in. I need to bump up the joy and the energy and the gratitude and the love. And when you do that, watch it flow. Claim it, ask for it, as our brother said, and then watch it go to work. Go to work tomorrow when you go to work with enthusiasm, with joyful gratitude that you have this job. Even if it's not your perfect job, be grateful for it. One of my favorite affirmations is, I'm in my right place, going to my true place. I'm in my right place, going to my true place. Affirm that with me. I am in my right place, going to my true place. Breathe in. That's the truth of you. So if it's a job or a situation that you're not happy, be grateful for where you are right now and know that Spirit is moving you with joy and gratitude into a new area that you long to be in. Joyfully bless your body and mind for the healing energy of God powerfully flowing through you. Get excited about the healing that's coming forth. Even if we don't see it right now, say, I'm really grateful for this. Even if you're in bed, just lie there and just feel the gratitude that Spirit is at work in every cell, every tissue, every atom, every molecule, every bit of your being. God is healing you now. Just know that to be the truth of a child of God. Now, I'm saying, again, don't tax your reserves if you're feeling physically challenged. Just feel the joy gently rolling from within. Feel it, accept it, nurture it, and know it is doing its powerful work. By infusing our lives with the holy power of joy and enthusiasm, we're going to see an astonishing change. If you apply this joy every day, next week you'll come here, you'll be a totally different person. I won't recognize you because you're smiling. I thought I knew you. Like Auntie Mame, every day will be a new adventure in joyful, abundant living when we decide to live in the now moment. When we decide to live in the fullness of today. William James wrote this formula for successful living. Start immediately, do it flamboyantly, no exceptions. Great advice. Take a breath. Breathe in again. As we stop listening to me and start listening to God, Spirit will reveal this. So as we begin our meditation, we sing our way within with our thoughts or prayers. It's on the board if we don't know them, on the back of the wall. Breathe into your heart. What is it that you're longing to see, but haven't seen yet? Let joy take you there. Feel the joy, the power, the excitement, the enthusiasm of God rushing through you, surging through every part of your being, every thought, every breath, every word you think. Children of God, creations of Spirit, allow joy to move through us. It's part of who we are, forever. My job is to say yes to it, to awaken to it, to let that fuel us forth in our wonderful journey toward wholeness, toward success, toward abundant good. Don't make it happen, let it happen. Breathe in joy and breathe out doubt. Breathe in joy and breathe out fear. Breathe in joy and breathe out separation. What does joy want you to know today? Listen to the voice of joy within you. What is being revealed to your heart, to your mind, to your soul? Again, your spirit knows it and your body is hearing the truth. It gets it. It knows it already. My job is to allow my conscious, wakened mind full access to God, joy within. As we focus within, outside noise doesn't matter one bit. It's immaterial. It's nothing, no thing at all. In the quiet of your being, I invite you to hold these words as yours. I am excited about the healing power of God surging through my mind and body. I am whole and strong. I am excited about the healing power of God surging through my mind and body. I am whole and strong. Hold that truth. Now let it flow forth. Let it do its perfect work in your mind, your body, and in your life. Keep breathing that joy deeper and deeper within. I also know the truth that I am joyfully grateful for abundance in my life. I am a success in what I love to do. I am joyfully grateful for abundance in my life. I am a success in what I love to do. Breathe that joyfully, gratefully, excitedly. We have no idea the good waiting for us to say yes to it. It's all pouring forth right now. As we go into the silence, we bring with us our morning affirmation. I am alive, alert, awake, and enthusiastic about my life. I fear nothing. God is at work. I'm alive, alert, awake, and enthusiastic about my life. I fear nothing. God is at work. Take a breath as we come back into this time and place. Feel the joy of Spirit in and around you. knowing that God has wonderful, wonderful things waiting for us when we say yes to it. We bring ourselves back into this time and place by singing, "The greatest thing in all my life is loving you."